Hey guys, Josh here from GBU. We are going to go through a very basic gearbox tutorial on how to upgrade, what to upgrade, and why to upgrade. Basically, most of you guys, if you have a nylon gearbox blaster, 98% of the time you will have nylon gears with a nylon piston. Any of you guys that have a metal gel blaster will have a metal gearbox and metal gears. Now the big difference is if you guys have a nylon gearbox and you want to upgrade your nylon gearbox with metal gears, metal piston, you are totally able to do that. There is nothing stopping you from making your nylon gearbox perform as well as a metal gearbox, as the gearbox is just a shell. Yes, metal can take more, but you can upgrade nylon, and I'm going to explain how and what to do. So first off, there is a few components to the gearbox. What I have on display right now is a V2 gearbox, which is most of the later model of gel blasters take a V2 gearbox. This is an SLR gearbox, and this is a H92 MK tactical gearbox. So basically we have the gear set. So gear set is the number one thing you guys need to know. There is metal gears and then there's SHS carbon gears. You cannot upgrade just the gears in the nylon gearbox and put them in and expect your blaster to go. It's very important to understand every aspect of the gearbox needs to be upgraded to metal, and I'm going to explain to you why. So as you can see right here, I'm going to be using this little screwdriver to indicate what I'm talking about. So as you can see right here, this is called the piston. This is a nylon piston, obviously, because of the gearbox. This nylon piston has a nylon ladder, so with nylon teeth. So with nylon on nylon, that's fine, it's going to operate. Nylon is quite a hard material. As soon as you put metal gears and use a nylon piston, obviously metal being harder will strip the nylon teeth. So you need to upgrade the nylon piston to a metal tooth or metal rack piston. Now we have those on our website and they look exactly like the one right here. So as you can see right here, that is a nylon polymer piston with a metal carbon steel tooth rack. So you'll need to upgrade the gears, then upgrade the piston as well. And the reason we upgrade it is because the parts can take more pressure, which means you can put larger springs, which then means you can increase your feet per second inside your gel blaster. Now moving forward, more up to the tip of the blaster, we have the tappet plate. Now the SLR has a good tappet plate. If you have a plastic tappet plate, I suggest you change it to a nylon, because as you upgrade your blaster, that tappet's going to be doing a lot of work, and if you have a plastic one, it will tend to snap. With the nylon, it does take much more of a beating. Now moving forward again, this little spring here, that is called a return spring. Now basic return springs in blasters are decent, but we suggest that you do grab a hardened or tightened return spring. That just makes the action of the tappet plate to the nozzle much more consistent when you're dealing with feet per second or FPS out of your blaster. Now with the cylinders, you do not need to upgrade the cylinders. They are stainless steel or metal. There will be no upgrade with the cylinders. The only thing you can change is if you want something fancy, like this one. This one is the anodized oil slick, or you can just keep the silver. Depending on what receiver you have, sometimes this is exposed and you can see it inside the window of the gun. Now this is the most important part of your upgrade. Now your cylinder head and your nozzle. So on your nylon blasters, your cylinder head and nozzle tend to only have one O-ring. So if I was to pull this out for you guys to see, hopefully that's in focus. So if you guys can see here, this has one O-ring just around there. I don't know if you can see that. And you can see that the cylinder head is not glued into the cylinder itself. When that piston is moving back and forward inside the gearbox, you're going to lose a lot of air seal inside there, and you will leak air, which will lower your FPS. The benefits of having an upgraded or metal cylinder head and nozzle is, I will take this one apart for you guys. As you can see here, this has a double O-ring. Now this double O-ring ensures that there is a greater seal, which will then give you more FPS because there's no air leaks coming out of this. Also, another thing we suggest is if you do have an upgraded one, chuck some epoxy glue around the edge and slide it in slowly, and that will seal that. So there's absolutely no air leaking through the cylinder. As opposed to nylon, you will have constant leaks. And finally, we come to the end of the blaster, which is the nozzle. Basically, upgrading it means to reduce any leaks and to upgrade the functionality of your gel blaster gearbox. So as we can see here, inside the nylon gearbox, this nozzle has no O-rings. I don't know if you can see, but in there is absolutely no O-rings. So that means when it's going up and down the cylinder head, there's absolutely nothing stopping it from leaking air, as opposed to the upgraded nozzle that has a double O-ring seal inside. So they'll have 2 O-rings to ensure that when this nozzle is traveling up and down, that it will not leak any air at all, which then will give you more FPS and ensure the consistency of your Gel Blaster performance. So in conclusion, everything needs to match up when you do upgrade. So basically, if you're doing the SHS carbon steel upgrade, make sure you get the gears, make sure you get the SHS piston, make sure whatever blaster you have the right cylinder head and nozzle, make sure that it's double O-ring at all times, which is all that we sell. And then that will get rid of all your air leaks. You can change if you have a ported cylinder, if you have a longer barrel, anything from 25 centimeters up, you can put a full cylinder in. Anything with a shorter barrel, it's good to have ported. And finally, just the trigger. So the basic trigger switch is pretty basic. It will survive certain types of batteries. If you put anything too strong, it will burn it out. If you do go to upgrade the gearbox and drop it into your nylon, we just suggest either just getting an SHS upgraded trigger switch or a MOSFET control unit, which is going above and beyond again. So that's just the basic, very, very basic outline of how to upgrade your gearbox and why we suggest that you make everything match and not just doing one bit at a time, which is a big mistake. We see a lot of people just upgrade the gears and then the piston gets destroyed and then they replace the piston and then they're still not getting the performance because the nozzle hasn't been changed. So we just suggest you do the full internal at one time to get the best performance out of your Gel Blaster. And that's it from me, guys. So I hope you enjoyed and hope this helped you guys. Have a great day.